Welcome back to the Difference Maker Revolution podcast. I'm really excited about this because Brad has told us that he's really passionate today and he's looking forward to falling out with us all over this topic, which is aligning your social media strategy with your promotions. So Jeanine, before, look at Brad, he's dying to get going. He's itching, Jeanine, he's itching. So Jeanine, before Brad gets going, will you tell us how you approach this strategy of aligning your social media with your promotions?
Sure, Ronan. So for me, when I'm running promotions like Facebook ads, right? When we're running advertisements on Facebook, I always want to make sure that the posts I have on Facebook, on Instagram align with the ad we have running. And I'll give you an example of the opposite of it, because I think that's easier than giving you an example of it. So we have members and we've seen photographers who get an idea of something they want to do. Like normally they're a boudoir photographer, and because they decided for some reason they want to run pets and they want to do a pet special, they'll run a Facebook ad for pet portraits, right? But when you go to their Facebook page or their Instagram, it's all boudoir, right? So now when someone is clicking on that ad and they want to go check out the photographer and be like, oh, I love this idea of bringing my pet to a studio. And then they go to check out the Instagram account and it's all, boudoir. It doesn't align, and it would make them question, well, wait a second, is this the same person? Like, that's a pet portrait, and I don't see any pet portraits on their Facebook account or their Instagram account, right? So I think, and I have always found that it works better for conversions if you have them aligned. Now, it doesn't have to be completely aligned, but it has, like, when I'm running, let's say I'm running my first birthday ad, which I run all the time, I make sure that in Facebook and Instagram, at least every few days, I have a first birthday post there with a story of that child. So now when the potential client clicks on my ad and then they go check me out on Facebook or Instagram, usually it's Instagram, honestly. When they go to check me out on Instagram, they see plenty of ideas and stories and they're captivated and they stay longer. And that's something that I had learned from reading a lot of Daniel Priestley books, is the longer you can engage somebody in your world, the more you have the likelihood of building that know, like, and trust with them before they click on the link to fill out the form, or between the time that they click on the link to fill out the form and you get that phone call made. They're checking you out and they're seeing things that align. It allows them to dive deeper and to kind of learn about what it is that you have to offer and hear all these stories and read all these stories of other people that have done the same type of portrait session. Now, when I do things that are unique, like my fairies or my wizards or my holidays, same thing. So like I have planned, if I'm going to run a wizard portrait ad, I make sure that a few weeks before that ad goes live, I have sprinkled in wizard portraits in my Instagram feed and in my Facebook feed. So that way, when they click on it, they go back. It's not just all first birthdays, but there's some wizard portraits in there as well. And then throughout the length of the wizard ad as well. So it makes sense and it aligns and it allows them to dive deeper in to what it is that they're looking for. So that's how I've approached and that's how I have looked at it. Plus, it allows me, even if someone doesn't click on the ad, but they're following me, they can find that same information as well. So that's how I look at it and how I approach it.
Jeanine, is there a sweet spot? Like as in what sort of time frame you need to start those ads before you do that?
I have found that it depends on how much you post, and we try and post every day. So you're looking at like a feed that goes, like if you went over to my Instagram, you have like 9 posts that show or something like that, right? So I try and do it like 2 weeks before. So that way, and I'm doing like every 3 days might be something for that particular, and it has changed. So it used to be an Instagram where the grid made a difference, right? Because people would look at the aesthetics of the grid. Well, that's gone out the window since Reels have become the thing now, and Instagram prefers video. And so now it's more about the video and the Reels, and then putting it with some still images mixed in. So for me, I have found that sweet spot to be about 2 weeks. But that might change again, I mean, it's always changing. Right now, I usually do about 2 weeks. So I just started posting some sneak peeks about Halloween and starting to do Halloween. And our ad and our email and everything will go out next week.
So does that mean on those days that you are posting, sprinkling in that extra thing, that's 2 posts, or is that
No,
replacing?
it's just the 1 post.
Okay.
I have had some times where I've done 2 posts, like a morning and an afternoon, but it's not very often.
Okay.
So, Steve, you grab Brad's left arm, I'll grab his right one and hold him back. Look, he's raring to go.
He's going to tell me that everything I said is bogus and he doesn't believe in it. I know. It's okay. We can differ on this.
I'm not going to say it's bogus. I don't believe in it. I'll preface everything I'm about to say by saying this is that Jeanine is correct. She's not wrong. She's correct in that having a social media accounts that match with what you're going to advertise does have impact. It does. I will say it does have impact. And to a bigger extent, especially moving forward, because I don't want anything I say here on the record, and then be used against me in like 5 years' time when advertising changes. Because I do think we're moving more into clients making the decision themselves rather than us trying to make the decision for them, meaning that I think clients are going to, when they're ready to buy, they're going to make that decision as opposed to us phoning them or them phoning us at that point. So I think content is going to be big. Well, it's big now, but it's only going to move forward. And we have to create content, and a lot of that's posting on social media. So I'm going to say all that to begin with before I get passionate about what I think most photographers should start, because all of that has impact, but how much impact it has, I think, is marginal. I think the biggest thing that has impact in most businesses is actually running proactive marketing to generate leads, to have conversations with those people and get them booked in. And posting on social media isn't doing that. It's running ads that does that. I'll take everyone back in time, 10 years, 2014. And my father took me to the first roadshow, the first Cherubs roadshow I ever went to. It was in York, in a hotel somewhere. And Ronan's company was there, 3XN were there, represented by Simon and Jenny. And at the time, they were doing a talk about advertising, about Facebook advertising. Now, I was the outlier. I was ahead of the curve. I'd already been running Facebook ads for like a year at this point. And how they were presenting how to run Facebook ads. I'm going to get the system wrong, but it was loosely, you do like 7 really soft posts, 3 direct posts, and then 1 ad. So every ad you created, you needed 3 more direct posts and 7 soft posts to make it work. If you didn't do that, the ad wasn't going to work or be successful. And at the time, I weren't doing any of that. I wasn't doing any of these soft posts or hard posts. I was just running cold, hard ads. I was just running promotions down people's throats on Facebook, picking the phone up, making bookings and making money. That's what I was doing. But I was sat in the audience thinking, shit, I'm doing something wrong. Like my ads aren't working. I'm doing something wrong here. I need to do all these posts in order to get my ads going to get a better result. But I was really, really bad at making posts. I was really great at writing ads. I'm really great. I still am. I'm really great at copywriting. I suck at content writing. I suck at creating posts. And I definitely sucked at trying to get my dad involved to take a video of himself in the studio and do some behind the scenes things, because that was never going to happen. So what happened was I actually stopped getting ads out because I suddenly had this process that I had to do to make the ad successful of all this other work I had to do. It took me a good while to realize that, you know what, the ads are working, just run the ads. And that's what I did. I kind of scrapped all those soft post stuff. And then in the future, going to subsequent events and seeing the same talk again and seeing other photographers, a lot of the photographers, if they didn't get more one-to-one guidance and help, a lot of them didn't run any ads because they struggled getting all those posts out because it was such a mountain for them to climb over that they never got to the bit that actually got results. You know, that those 7 soft posts and 3 direct posts did maybe 1% of the work. The 99% of all the work came from running the ad, generating leads and getting results. And most people never got to that point because they were just so hung up on doing all the other stuff. So I'd implore everybody listening, if you've never ran ads, don't post, just run ads and get clients in, get revenue in. And then once you have bookings, that's when you can do all the fun stuff. That's when you can work on email nurturing and work on building a social media brand. But it's pointless making posts on Facebook and doing behind the scenes stuff of clients if you have no clients. How can you do that if you have no clients? Run an ad, get clients in, make money, and then work on all the other stuff, because it will impact. But the number one biggest thing you can do for your business right now is advertise, is market. Get your brand, get your product, get your offering out there into the market, and phone people and get them booked into your studio. That's the best thing you can do. And everything that Janine said you should do, but do after you've marketed. Don't think, I really want to do this dog promotion, but I've got no dog photos on my Facebook page. Just do the dog promotion, Just do the dog promotion, get them booked in, have impact in your clients' lives, make some money, then post some dog photos of it afterwards. And then for the next one you run, you've got dog photos ready to rock. Action. Action beats knowledge all the time. Action beats everything. Just do something.
And you can be honest. You can be honest and just say you're launching a brand new pet division, and then it all makes sense. So you're right.
I wouldn't even say I'm just launching. I just used to do that shit.
Book me now.
I just used to do it. I'd come up with an idea and run it. And there's been many times, I say many times, there's like a few key moments where like I'd phone my dad, or I'd go to the front office to where my dad was and be like, I've kind of done it again. By meaning that I've launched a campaign that I've had the idea of, I don't know, half an hour previous, run it, launched it, and it's had instant results. And it's like, I've done it again, shit. And it's bad because normally it's Friday at 4 p.m. and suddenly we've got that many emails and the phone's not, constantly ringing, that I've just created a problem. But it's a good problem.
Great problem.
It's a great problem. So yeah, market.
It's a common thing though, Brad, isn't it? But when you were talking, I'm thinking, that's lots of businesses do that in almost everything that they do, in that there's this actionable thing that they have to do, but they're slightly uncomfortable putting themselves out there, or slightly uncomfortable, so then they look for all the fluffy stuff. And so in a lot of photographers' cases, when you ask them to go make phone calls and pick up the phone, they think they've got to redesign their website first, or work on or get some behind the scenes reels done first. And the reality is exactly what you said. You've got to market, pick up the phone, and have some conversations to get some bookings in, and the rest can wait.
It's productive procrastination.
Well, what's interesting is how you framed it as the opposite, I think, of what most people think, right? The Facebook ad is the easy part, and they think it's the hard part. So they do what actually is the hard part. Content creation is not easy. It's not easy. And like Brad said, it is kind of where the future is going. And my brain's already going there. Like, how am I going to systemize content creation? Because I know I'm going to need more of it going forward. That's the hard part. Running a Facebook ad, that's easy. There should be no excuse why you're not running a Facebook ad. You get it, you set it, you go, you get the leads, you make the phone calls. That's the easy part. The content creation is the hard part. Add that in once you get the easy part done. And it'll amplify it, but for people who think that the Facebook ad is hard and they procrastinate doing it, it's the easy part. And it is, I agree with Brad, it is the most effective. And it's going to get your leads coming in and the phones and you being able to get on the phone.
Well, the interesting thing for me is, like, if I go back to 2014, Brad, there was such a thing as organic reach in Facebook, right? Where you could post something and Facebook did actually deliver it to people, right? And that has, and the strategy that was outlined at that time was combining that with paid ads, right? But I accept what you say, that it could have stopped people from doing that. But if you think about content creation today, like, you can put up as much content as you want and it's going nowhere unless you put a paid ad behind it to drive it.
Yeah, you got to drive people to your platform.
Yeah, you got to drive people to the content. That's where that's going. Like, this idea of and TikTok have nearly spoiled it, because TikTok came into the market and said, right, we're going to give loads of organic reach for free, right? And people are getting spoiled a little bit by that in TikTok. Where it's, TikTok's going exactly the same way as Meta did with Facebook and Instagram, where you're not going to get any reach, unless you pay for it. Whether that's a social media post or whether that's a paid ad. In fact, there'll be no difference.
Don't get me started on TikTok, Ronan. You're going to have to cut the podcast.
Do you not love TikTok?
No, I refuse to allow it onto the phones of anybody. Don't get me started.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid you're going to make a political statement, so I'm not going to ask you.
Nope, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying don't get me started.
I don't like TikTok. I don't use it, but I'd use it as a marketing tool. I don't use Facebook. I think it's weird when people post on Facebook. I find people using Facebook as a social media platform and posting about the day, or posting the kids, or posting that they've gone on holiday, or posting that they're at a concert. I find that really strange.
Janine, defend yourself.
Defend myself. I know. I love posting on Facebook. It is.
Yeah, I find that weird, but as an ad platform, I love it. So I'll use TikTok. It's leveraging assets. Yeah, what I think what's really turned me off on Facebook is that my parents have Facebook and they post on Facebook. That's just.
This is the generational thing, and it's so amusing to me.
It's just awful. I've muted my mum on Facebook because I don't want to see her Facebook posts. Because I can't remove her on Facebook because it's my mother and I love her. But I don't want to see them. So I mute them instead.
Well, it's so funny, the generational thing, because like Erin and her friends, they all will scroll on TikTok, not on Erin's phone, on other phones, but they don't post on it. They post because they feel like, oh, the old people have taken it over now. Now they're back to Instagram because they don't feel the old people are on Instagram anymore. It's so funny to me. Like the younger generation, they move. They don't want to be where their parents are. Like I see her post. That's part of our agreement. She can't post unless I am allowed to see them. But I am very cautious not to like her post because I don't want to make her uncool that her mother has liked her post or something, So it's so interesting. Yet all of her friends love my post because they love the studio, right? So for me, it's kind of funny because it's this dual-edged sword. But it shifts where people are. And it used to be like the teenagers weren't on Instagram. Now they're all back on Instagram again. And it's interesting. So that's why I like the things we say, but here's the bottom line, right? Is where things might change, where things are, the basics of marketing never changes. And that's, and Brad talks about that a lot. Like these concepts that we use, he used before a Groupon, and before that on a stand at a grocery store. So the concept on how we market never changes. The delivery of it and the platform of it, that sort of changes. And that you have to keep a pulse on because it changes so fast, and I like you think, and like I think there was one imaging we all went to, Ronan, where that was what the guy talked about, like was the speed of change. I mean, like how many decades was the yellow pages? I don't know if you guys had them over there, but here, like the yellow pages, that's for decades. People would set their names based upon being higher in the yellow pages, now like there is no yellow pages, like, it's just, so that sort of stuff changes, but the concepts never change. And basic marketing, you deliver it and you got to do it.
You're hilarious, Janine. Why does every American think they invented everything and no one else has it?
Well, I don't know what you guys have and not, because when I assume you have something, then you look at me like I have 4 heads. So I always assume you don't have something.
Yeah, it's great. We should compile the list of everything Janine said. You guys have that over there? Microwaves, air fryers, the internet.
You guys don't boil water in a microwave. I don't understand that. It is so much more efficient than a tea kettle. Like a microwave, stick a cup in it, boil your water, put your tea bag in.
That just sounds wild to me. I mean, I don't even drink tea. I don't have hot drinks, but just have a kettle. Why put it in a microwave?
Microwave! Like at the studio, we don't have a stove. We have a microwave.
You put it in the jug? Or like a Tupperware box?
No, you put water in your mug, stick it in the microwave. 2 minutes later, you have tea. Like
that's madness. That's just wild.
That's not real tea, though.
No,
it's not tea. It's the same tea bags you guys use.
It's not. No,
it is.
I don't even drink tea, and I'm offended.
How does it matter how you boil your water?
It tastes different.
It does not taste different. Boiled water is boiled water. Whether you boil it in a microwave or boil it on a kettle, it's boiled water.
You microwaved your taste buds.
Oh, please. However you boil water, the boiling point doesn't change. The taste doesn't change. It's just boiled.
It matters the speed that the water gets.
Oh, that's lame. That had no.
That's how you get change, isn't it? You can't just.
Nope.
You can't just stick a tea bag in a cup and put the cup in a microwave.
No. You put the tea bag in after. You boil your water, and then you take it out of the microwave. Your water's boiling. You put your tea bag in.
Okay, so we're gonna change the name on this podcast as to how to make tea.
Wait. How do you know it's boiling though? Because normally you can tell.
You see the bubbles. Like, what do you mean? How do you know if it's boiling?
Microwave windows are like notoriously difficult to see through. Like,
no,
you get your face against the window and see if the water boils.
It's boiling as you take it out out of a microwave because they're still going.
If you're staring into a microwave, Jeanine, it's frying your brain too. You know that?
Yeah, no, but again, by testing, Brad, a cup of water takes 2 minutes and 20 seconds to boil. So you set your microwave, you stick it in, you take it out, you put your tea bag.
A kettle's not taking 3 hours. I want a cup of tea. Better put the kettle on now.
What if you don't have a stove? What, do you not have tea?
You've got an electric kettle.
Ugh.
Do you not have those over there?
Electric kettles? No, we have a microwave. It's much more efficient. Boil your water. You guys need a lesson in heat transfer. It's the same. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, let's get back to something we see all the time with social media marketing, right? Where we see a lot of photographers, and we actually see some people educating to do this as a strategy, that just do social media without any paid advertising. So, Brad, you already said, like, content creation takes a lot of time and effort and to get it up and running. So why do people do that?
Well, why do people advise that?
Why do people do it, or why do people advise it?
Oh, well, I think people do it because, because in the long run, it does work and it does help. It does have lots of benefits, but it's a medium to long-term strategy. It's not a short-term strategy. And if you're just starting out in business or you have bookings to fill, creating content isn't going to be the thing that's going to change your life right now. Creating consistent, good content that speaks to an audience, that's the best long-term thing you can do. But you have to have clients now, because it's pointless developing a long-term strategy that's going to take, 2 to 5 years to actually work. I mean, you hear Gary Vee talk about it all the time. Just be patient. The guy was creating content for 10 years before he saw anything real impact about it. And you listen to Alex Hormozy, who's posting a ridiculous amount of times a day. He's got an entire team, a multi-person team that's just all about posting 10, 12 times a day for his content, because he knows the value that's going to get. We can't do that. We're not at that stage. So, but he's at that stage because he earned revenue in his business, and then he can develop the content. So it's a balancing act between the two. And to talk to you about why people in the photographic industry, I think, recommend it. I think they recommend it because it's easy to do, or rather, it's perceived.
It's perceived as easy. It's
perceived easy, and you can kind of project that. Oh yeah, I've got a really great business, and all I do is post on Facebook a few times, buy my course.
All right. So getting back to, I'm starting out, Brad, Steve, Jeanine. I'm starting out. So the first thing that I need to do, you're telling me, is learn how to run paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram.
That's one of the first things I learned, yeah. Okay.
So where's the best place to do that?
Jonathan's not here. He normally does the sale at the end. He's not here. He's still next to you.
We miss Jonathan.
Just go grab him and pull him onto your screen.
Come here, Jonathan, do our clothes. Come here. Yank him by the shirt collar.
All right. So guys, to learn how to implement the best proactive marketing system in the world for photographers, all you have to do is click on the link below and join the Difference Maker Revolution. And the team here, along with Jonathan, who we miss you, Jonathan, we really do. Did I sound sincere there?
Oh my. Try it again.
In the Difference Maker Revolution, you will have Jonathan and Brad and Jeanine and Steve and myself helping you guys to create the business of your dreams, the business that you define as being successful to you. So just click on the link and we'll see you on the inside. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.